And this time around, Asmodai getting the better of this hand, since he does have the coin and that Darnassus Aspirant. Also, the Paladin Shredder, never bad in Druid, even though it's a 4-drop. So even if that Darnassus Aspirant gets Wrath, it's still pretty nice to have that Shredder, because you're probably not coining the Darnassus Aspirant, right? Because it feels too risky. So just playing it on turn 2 is completely fine, and then you can either just play the Shredder if it stays alive, or coin the Shredder if it doesn't. So it's good either way. That's a pretty sweet mulligan screen. Let's hope we get out of this. There it is. That's a shade off the top, though, for SilverName. He doesn't have the worst of hands. No Wild Growth or Innervate. He does want that. BGH and Keeper, kind of situational cards you don't want on the starting hand necessarily. But that Shade pretty nice. So's the Wrath. There's Living Roots. Darnassus Aspirant getting played on 2, though. That's just way too strong. Probably going to get Wrath unless he wants to play his Shade into this. Depends on how scared he is of a 4-drop, or maybe even a 6-drop if that gets innervated. He draws a second Wrath. The question is, how hard can you delay your Shade in this matchup? Just realized how much I like your cardigan. Thank you, man. I actually like this as well. It is pretty comfy. Like sitting around in it. Feels good. Feels birthday, man. And he is going to come to the conclusion that the Wrath is the correct choice. All this really does, though, is throw out the coin, unless something else gets drawn here. Yep, it's just going to be the coin. Double Keeper, not too great for Asmodai. There's that Shredder. So do you just Wrath this and hope that you can Hero Power whatever comes out of it? Again? Do you just Keeper it for the silence, but get value traded in reply? Or do you just Shade and wait a turn? Because those are the only options you really have here. Like, you'd like to Drake next turn. You could also curve out with Shade and Hero Power, or Shade Wrath next turn. So Keeper, not too bad here, actually. Considering the hand your opponent has, it's actually pretty decent. I think if SilverName knew the hand of his opponent in this case, he would just Keeper instantly, right? Because he wouldn't be scared of losing 2 mana next turn, right? Because next turn's 4 mana. Like, what are you really scared of? You're scared of, like, Innervate plays, or of, like, another Shredder. You're not scared of the Keeper itself. So SilverName has to take all this into account. And he's still going for the Wrath trade. Okay, maybe saying, all right, you know, I'm probably getting tempo next turn anyway, since what can he really play on turn 4? Wow, and he gets the lucky drop here from that Shredder and actually clears this complete Shredder with just a Hero Power as a follow-up. That's pretty nice, and he's going to be happy with that. And now Asmodai has to get some tempo, and that is a bad, bad hand. And he actually has to play the Keeper here in order to even have a chance on this board. That's just brutal. Azure Drake could come out here. Dr. Boom drawn, that's pretty nice. And I favor SilverName heavily right now. Loatheb is a great follow-up, though. It's also going to stop the Spell Power swipe next turn. Is he just going to keep her again with Living Roots? Does he not care about the silence at all? Is it your birthday? No, it's not my birthday. Not for another, what is it, 10 months? Yeah. So Keeper Living Roots or Keeper Trade, I guess, is okay, but what stops you from playing Loatheb? Like, you can still follow up turns afterwards. All right, so he feels like this is a good board position, and he isn't going to get punished for it. Not yet, at least. Oh, and there's Thorson off the top. You've got to be kidding me, SilverName. What a crazy board position he has after that. That's going to be a sick hand, man. You have to go for Thorson here. It's also gonna, like, your opponent also just has to invest stuff into it, and even if it's a Force of Nature and nothing really happens on board, you're only taking 4 damage, and it's just 1 Force of Nature that's gone. He can't really Wrath here, right? Because you can't follow up with, like, a Loatheb or something, and you don't want to lose your board as well. So you might as well just play 1 Force of Nature since you have 2 in hand anyways. It doesn't stop your combo from being alive. Yeah, and there's the Fawn. It's just gonna trade here. Dr. Boom looks so sexy in that hand right now. It's probably going to get played unless there's something better to draw, but what is better than that? Double Shade is not necessarily risky, but the follow-up to it isn't too great. So there's Dr. Boom. Deal with this, he says. He could play his own Dr. Boom. And then just trade the bombs, hope for some magic. Hello, Lord Mac. Welcome to the chat. How are you doing, buddy?
What to do?
There's Dr. Boom. Pretty good top deck, actually. Is he not trading the bombs? Not trading the bombs. Wants to set up for an apparent combo? Like, I gotta be honest, all I'm seeing is the double swipe in hand here for SilverName, and it's just scaring the living hell out of me. I gotta be honest, though. I like that Asmodai, like, the Dr. Boom draw is pretty sick, because next turn, he can block the opponent's combo with Lotheb. Depending on how much he has on his own board, he can probably follow that with a combo, because his opponent traded a lot, or just took a lot of damage. Because his opponent's at 15. He's almost in combo range. Oh, that's brutal. That last bomb's brutal. Like, BGH was probably not going to get too much value anyways in this matchup, but that part is just brutal. Do you have to swipe here?
I must safeguard the land.
Keeper and BGH just for tempo. Wants to get lethal with Savage Roar next turn. There's another Savage Roar. It's not too helpful, though. Lotheb Wrath is going to come down here. Like, for sure, actually. Is that even lethal without Roar for his opponent if he didn't lose the BGH? How much is that? 6, 13? No, it's not lethal without the Savage Roar. He needs the Savage Roar. Or at least like a Force of Nature with it. Lotheb Wrath looks pretty obvious. I don't think there's anything else you can do, really. The question next turn is for Asmodai. Is he going to draw the Innervate for the 15 damage? Or does he have to Force of Nature Savage Roar to kill the complete side of his enemy's board?
What to do? I see.
And there's the Lotheb Wrath. There's a question in chat. How do I get the tournament overlay on your screen? So first off, I'm watching this off the clean feed, and then I have a production in the background. It's a buddy of mine. His name is Marius. He's sitting in the background and making all this overlay happen and the fun stuff in the background. So that's all just because of him. There's a Force of Nature picked up. You could double Shade behind this. So if you just trade with Dr. Boom, play the double Shade and like hero power, I guess you're safe, right? The hero power is very important actually, because that's what's gonna stop him from certain death. And there's the hero. The hero power is so important. I can't even stress that enough. That's what's gonna stop him from dying. If the Innervate gets drawn here, I'm gonna laugh so hard because it's not enough. Wild Growth. That's also brutal. Yeah. Force Nature Savage Roar probably gonna come down. There's no reason not to Savage Roar because you have two of them. The trades on all fronts. Face for 2. Not going to keep him quite in combo range because he's probably just going to hero power up. Savage Roar is lethal for SilverName, or is it lethal this way anyways? That's 10 from his hand and 6 from the board, so not enough. Can't play the Keeper with this. So I guess just hero powering and going face with everything seems pretty nice. Maybe you don't even go face with everything. Maybe you just go face with one of the shades. Nah, he doesn't care. He feels like he feels like this is going to be going in his direction anyways. I think the Asmodai has already used double Force Nature, right? So I don't know how he can survive on this board. Wow, he's even playing the Force of Nature just to do the damage here. That's pretty interesting. Poor Asmodai. Yup, and there's that Innervate. That doesn't help. Wild Growth, last resort, but it does look like a 2-0 from SilverName so far. There's the Aspirant. That's not going to do anything, and that's going to be the game. The second one to SilverName. Not looking good for Asmodai right now. This is the loser's bracket, man. He has to win 3 games in a row to stay in this and keep his dreams, rather, of Blizzcon alive.